welcome to another episode of Happy Hour Huddle. We just want to remind you to like, subscribe, and comment. Someone gave Tim a run for his money last week, and it's just like, oh man, someone's actually watching, pay attention, man. And I agree, definitely jumping on that train. So we appreciate you guys. Keep it coming, man. Like we love it. We feed off of it. Gives us more ideas for future shows and really gets us going, So again, like, comment, subscribe. We're on all platforms and I hope you enjoy the show. We got a lot to take in, right? First and foremost, man, the myth, the fruit, Binya's back.
Yes, yes.
So
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
wanted to
I'm I'm
make sure
glad
you
to
shout that out.
yeah, I'm glad to be back, fellas. Like I say, still got the Bell's palsy. I did send out that video. Didn't want to take too much of today's episode talking about it, but just ready to be back, even with what I'm going through. So excited.
We're happy to have you back,
Mhm.
brother. We're happy to have
Yes.
you back.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Welcome back.
So we got a couple things that we want to talk about, right? I think we definitely want to start off with some of our predictions here for the NFL season, right? Who's going to take over the AFC as far as winning the divisions, right? Including wild card for playoff contentions and things like that. So we want to get everybody's input here, and I think we can start off with Fidel. Fidel brought
Yeah.
up this great idea. Next
Mhm.
week we'll cover
Mhm.
the NFC predictions as well. So Fidel has his team in the NFC, or I'm sorry, AFC, as well as John. So I'm curious to hear
Mhm.
what Fidel's predictions are. So take it away, man.
All right, so I'll start off with the who I think will be the number one seed would be the AFC West Chiefs. Uh, they're looking to go for that three-peat. So, I mean, as long as they stay healthy, I don't see why they wouldn't win the division and get the first seed. At number two, I got the Ravens. They should be. I mean, they got Derrick Henry. I mean, their run game was already great, but I think with Derrick Henry, it'll take less wear and tear off of Lamar having to run it as much. Then at number three, I got the Texans winning the South. I think they're only going to be better than they were last year, especially with the addition of Diggs. And then for four, I got the Dolphins winning the East. I feel like the Bills took a little step back, and that might be like the little edge the Dolphins need to win the division. And then for my wild cards in no particular order, I got the Bills, the Browns, and the Bengals running off the wild card spots for me in the AFC.
Nice, man.
Mhm.
You kind of stole some of mine here, but since we have John here who has another
Mhm.
AFC team,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what you got next for us.
I think you guys all probably know who I want to pick as number one. And that's the Ravens. That's my team. I think we just have a solid team. Having Derrick Henry, we always had good run game. Lamar, but now having Derrick Henry, who's just a beast. Um, I think it's just going to help us skyrocket. At two, I have the Texans. Like Fidel said, I think they're gonna improve. I don't think CJ Stroud's gonna have that sophomore slump, so they'll be doing well. Chiefs, they're gonna go for the three-peat. I think they'll be in the playoffs for sure, but I think they're gonna have some bad games because they're always struggling, during the season. But Patrick Mahomes, when it comes to the playoffs, he's magic. So could still see them winning it. At four, I have the Dolphins winning that division. I think they're just, improving the run game solid, the wide receiver game solid. I think Tua is probably still that question mark at quarterback. I like him a lot as a QB. But it's just that strength of arm that, we haven't seen too much from him, but we'll see what improvements they made this year. And then for the wild card, I have him ranked. Uh, I have Bengals up next. I think Joe Burrow and that team, they're monsters. They're coming back from a injured season. After being at the Super Bowl, so they're out for revenge, and they could be a surprise of taking the AFC North. Then I have the Jets. I think the Jets, as long as Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I think they'll make the playoffs. And then at number seven, um, I had a few teams, but the one team I put here, you guys are not going to agree with it. I have the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to sneak in. They Gardner Minshew is gonna show, why he's a QB that should be in this league, and they have a solid team. Zamir White is gonna, I think, really show now that Josh Jacobs is gone why he's gonna be a number one running back for the next few years. And that defense pretty solid. Max Crosby, that guy, he's like the new Donald since he retired. So I have the Raiders as a surprise, just squeaking into the playoffs.
And that's a good call out too, because not only do they have Crosby, but they also have that Wilkins guy, right? I think
Mhm.
he was with the
The
Dolphins last
Dolphins.
season.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah,
balling out. He
yeah. So
was a baller.
they got a solid team. It's that QB play, but Minshew magic. We've seen it many years. So I, having Devontae Adams, I think it's a wild card pick for me. But Raiders.
Take it away, Tim. I'm curious to hear yours.
I like it. Hey, shout
Yeah.
out Zamir White. I know I had a fun little run-in with his name earlier in at another episode. Dude's been working out.
Yeah.
He's just a stocky beast. But yeah, I'll start off with my number one. I think it's going to be the Chiefs again. Don't like them. I think that they are just they always beat down on my Niners. So, but they're a great team, and I think that their wide receiver core got even better this year. So, things are looking great. Things are looking up for them too. Also have the Texans taking their division. I think that CJ Stroud, another year under his belt, I think that he's going to outperform his rookie season as well. And then they added so many great pieces there with Mixon and Diggs. So, just an incredible team. They're going to be one, I think they're going to go deep in the playoffs for sure. With the next one, I have the Ravens. Much like you guys said, run game only got stronger. Defense is great there. And now Lamar has a little bit of relief on the running side of things with the addition of Derrick Henry. I just think that anything, goal line, short yardage positions will just take a lot of the brunt off of Lamar. And I also, for the East, I have the Dolphins taking that division. I think Tua now has that confidence of being a multi-$100 million individual. I think it's well deserved. I think that all he really needed, and to kind of go a little bit off course, I guess. The things that he said about his previous coach with Flores. I think that mental part of the game is such a huge aspect. And now that he has such a supportive coach with McDaniels, I think is incredible and really has unleashed who Tua's really is. I think Tua's top 10 quarterback. I think he's got a ton of pieces around him, strong running game as well. Just a super exciting team there. Now, as far as teams that I think sneak into the playoffs here, quote unquote sneak, I think that they're still going to be great teams. I have the Bengals sneaking in. I think Burrow, as long as he stays healthy, I know we all talk about being healthy, but Burrow is just he's a top three quarterback when he is completely healthy. I think that he is downright a beast. Next, I have the Jets. Talk about health, right? I think that a healthy Aaron Rodgers, he has such a great team built around him that they really have a great opportunity. And I'm really, to be honest with you, down on the Bills this year. So I think that if they play him twice this year, I think that they can beat him both times. I'm pretty down on the Bills, so I think that that's why that they could sneak in. Next, Fidel will like this one. I have the Chargers sneaking in. I know we're all going AFC West as a sneaky, addition to the playoffs here, but I have the Chargers because I think Harbaugh just put such a great situation with the team on both sides of the ball. I think that his discipline and just the way that he coaches. I mean, I saw it when he coached the Niners, just he's just an incredible individual at what he does. So have the Chargers sneaking in. I think a healthy Herbert. I think that plantar fasciitis is getting a lot better. I think he's back practicing again. If I'm not,
Yeah.
if okay, perfect. So yeah, I think that team looks solid. So yeah, that rounds out my AFC teams. Kind of similar to what you guys said, minus that last one where I think it's kind of a toss up at times.
For sure. No, yeah, I agree with most of you guys' picks actually, because I kind of ranked mine as well. So I had the Ravens taking the AFC as the number one seed. You know, they balled out last season. They're only going to get better. And I just think they're just going to do amazing things, right? Derrick Henry, you guy's a monster, right? Not only can he protect, but he can also run,
Hmm.
through 25 people if he has to, right? Super tank. And then I have the Chiefs at number two. Um, it's one of those like, you know, three peats can happen in the NFL. Might be a little bit hard, right? So, but they're still a very solid team. Can't go wrong with that. And you guys covered most of the Chiefs, great aspects, right? Um, as far as for the East, I have the Dolphins. I mean, Tua, I think he threw for the most yards last season,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, right? He balled out. So, I mean, and that's with Tyreek missing, I think, the last few games of the season, right? And so if everyone stays healthy, he's just gonna showcase more of his skills, right? And maybe even go into that second seed, right? Instead of the third. And then I have the Texans. I mean, CJ Stroud, monster, bro. Like that guy's gonna do amazing things. They they built a team around that guy as well, in my opinion, right? They gave him a lot of weapons. He has the protection he needs. Now it's like go and sling that ball right wherever you can, get it in the end zone. As far as my wild cards, also ranked, I have Bengals. Um, someone that I think will sneak in that wasn't mentioned are the Colts. Something about the Colts just tells me like, Richardson, he played really well last season, had those injuries. I feel like he's coming in second year, a little more seasoned, knows what to expect, and can better protect himself. And they can also, I'm sure, more than sure, they added more protection for him, right? All right, these are the weak spots. This is where we need help, and so address that part. So I think they're going to sneak in. And then lastly, I also have the Chargers, right? It's amazing what a coach can do. It really is. Like, all it takes is that motivator, right? The actual leader to lead their squad into success. So, with that being said, it's just I think the Chargers will sneak in. I think if anyone does take them down, and it hurts my soul to say this because I hate this team, but the Raiders, that's going to be a kryptonite. Because as John mentioned, they're solid, and another great coach there too, right? With Pierce. So I think it's going to be that battle between the Chargers and the Raiders, but I think the Chargers will prevail ultimately.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's you guys have some great picks, man. Like it's just really crazy, dude. Like
Yeah.
you know,
I follow up question I have. We all mentioned the Chiefs. We all mentioned three-peat. Do you guys actually think they're going to three-peat this year?
no,
No.
No.
Hell no.
All right. Yeah, no.
No, I
I'm in
don't
the
think
same
so.
I'm in the same boat. I think I would say if they were in the NFC, they have that opportunity just because of the teams. But being in the AFC,
Mhm.
like I say, I think there's so many teams that could beat them. And for me, if they don't have Patrick Mahomes, something happens to Patrick Mahomes, they're done. Like they have nothing else in the Chiefs. Like that's Chiefs Kingdom, Patrick Mahomes. So
hmm
Yep.
I was just curious if you guys thought
What do you
they
mean, man? No, faith in Carson Wentz? as the
Nah.
backup?
Nah,
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, back when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, of course, he was such a pivotal part of that.
Riding the
Psych.
bench,
Yeah.
taking
Foles
on the
magic.
bench.
do you think,
Yeah.
yeah, and then a follow-up question to that though too, right? How much of a distraction do you think Taylor Swift is going to be at
Ooh.
these types of events, right? Like, is it going to draw the negative attention as far as like fandom goes, or what do you guys thoughts on that?
Danny, you're going into a tough subject. We got the
The
Swifties. They listen
Swifties.
to. They're not going to be happy
Yeah,
with you.
I
You
don't
know,
think so. I
It's
calling
I,
not
them
a
I
a
negative thing,
completely
right?
agree.
Like,
okay, you're calling them a distraction, but I don't really think it's going to be much, distraction. I think they if it was a distraction, it was there last year. When she was there for the first few times, that's when it was big. Now it's just I think it's going to be normal. It's nothing new.
Yeah,
yeah, I
Danny,
only
you're
say
playing
that
with
because
fire.
I only say that because you look at all her concerts, they're all
Hmm.
tailored around um his games.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm like, I'm curious to see like what big of an impact too, right? And also like what that does to the fans, right? The actual football fans instead of the Swifties trying to go in there just to see Taylor Swift, right? So I mean, hey, drive up the prices, I guess. They probably need to
Yeah.
rehab that stadium.
Yeah, you're playing with fire. I feel like top topics to avoid are politics and then Swifties is
Yeah.
right below that.
Looking
Eh,
for the
But
Hey, nothing
speaking of
wrong with
like,
Taylor Swift though. Nothing. I mean,
no.
that's full disclosure. Nothing wrong with her. I'm just saying, will Travis Kelce still ball out?
be like,
yeah.
I'll say something controversial. Pick me girl music. That's all I'll say about Taylor Swift.
No, speaking on which with the scheduling around, I think that they're going to be in Buffalo the same approximate time that she'll be in Toronto for concerts. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets from Toronto to Buffalo for that game and then probably back to Toronto again. I just think that it
Mhm.
worked out so perfect. And say what you want about the NFL schedule. I think it's tailored around that.
It's,
Literally. Hey, no
it's
pun
hundred
intended.
percent.
You like that?
tailored around
Yeah.
You
Taylor.
said it.
Yeah.
You said it. You
Yep.
said it.
Hey,
Hey,
Like
but
as
if
long
you
as
look
we
at
get him,
last year, if you look at last
but
year, like all the games that had Taylor, most watched games. Does the NFL want that? Yes, because it brings
Absolutely.
money, it brings revenue to not just the team, but the NFL, and just really opens up the game of football. So
Mhm.
yeah.
No, yeah, but
hey,
no, good stuff.
Tim, like you said about that Buffalo game, as long as we get another repeat of the Jason Kelsey stuff he did in the last Buffalo game he went to, I'm all for it.
Same.
All right.
What a specimen. Yep.
Mhm.
Into the
Dude,
stands, chugging beers. Yep.
freaking flat-footed jump from the ground into the suite with
All
Timberlands
right.
on.
Yeah. What a badass.
All right.
That's a fun family and dynamic that they have there. It's really good for the NFL. And me personally, I find it really hard to hate on them. I hate them because obviously, they've won a bunch of Super Bowls and of course it's always against my Niners, it seems. But in general, I just think that, they're just a good family to have, as a top, popular family in the NFL. And then T Swift, attended her concerts a couple different times. She's great. It's always good to have her around. Yep. All for it.
yeah.
Hey, we'll take free tickets anytime. So Taylor Swift, if you're listening,
Yep.
hey,
Floor seats.
we got some pretty big Swifties here. So I think John's attended a couple too, right?
I've intended one this last year.
One.
Before that, I
Nice.
really wasn't. I've always enjoyed Taylor, but never like a big Swiftie. So this year, and just to be part of that experience, like I said, if you didn't go, if she comes back, you guys got to try to go because it is an experience of a lifetime. Like you're never going to experience that. It's
Yep.
like almost like Michael Jackson type status.
Mhm.
So
I'll go
yeah.
with Travis Kelce's there.
Oh my God, Travis.
Travis, sign my shirt. No, but
Sign my
no,
Boston Scott jersey.
that's Boston Scott for life. I
Uh,
still believe in you, even if you get released, man.
he already did get he was already cut.
He was
It's
already cut.
official. Yeah, it's official.
Uh,
He was cut earlier today.
the Cowboys, go sign him, please. I need to prove these
Yep.
guys wrong.
Uh,
But no, yeah, great, great AFC picks. And kind of sticking with the topic of football, right? We want to talk about fantasy football, right? Little quick mock draft, first round, I think is what we discussed, and uh, kind of go from there. I'm not sure if John or Tim, you want to lead this one.
At the number one pick, I would, I'm going to take CMC. If I get the number one pick, CMC's the guy. There's not much more to say. Just you need a running back. Running backs are a diamond, and I think he's still going to have a great year. So CMC.
Solid pick. Gonna go Tyreek Hill, number 2. I think that he's super dynamic, puts up humongous numbers, and that offense they torch. So gonna go Tyreek, number 2.
All right, I am going to stick with running backs and take Brees Hall. I know I'm kind of going back on what I did over the weekend. I skipped Brees Hall and went Bijan, but I think Brees Hall for a league like ours will be a solid pickup just because there's just going to be a lot of players.
all right. With pick number 4, I would take CeeDee Lamb. He's gonna get all the volume, obviously, in Dallas. And then with pick number 5, I'll take Bijan. Just, I mean, it's the easiest pick available. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And for me, I am probably going to go with wide receiver as well, and just kind of see what this player does and go with Jamar Chase. Just, you know, I hope the connection with Joe Burrow and him are still great. Always a solid player to fall back on.
For sure. I think with pick number 7, despite the quarterback issues, just going to go Justin Jefferson. I think he's still a stud. I think that Darnold can throw a ball. He'll have some big games here and there.
Mhm.
At 8, I would take the Sun God, Amon-Ra. Just, number one option there. I think there's a lot of people to feed there, Jahmyr Gibbs, running backs, but I still think he's the most reliable person for Jared Goff, and that's what he needs. He needs that reliable wide receiver. So I have Amon-Ra. And then at 9, I would take Garrett Wilson. I think he's just the go-to guy passing wise in New York. He's going to develop that with Aaron Rodgers. And hey, if you guys saw some preseason games, he could slide cancel. So that's always going to be a good move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oof, that's where it gets tricky. Definitely, first thing that pops to my mind is, I've chosen 2 wide receivers now. Definitely thinking running back. And with that being said, I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor. I think as long as he stays healthy, health is always, matters a ton. But I think that offense looks a lot better this year, and going to go with JT there.
Nice. And I'm gonna go with wide receiver again, since I have 1 and 1. One running back, 1 wide receiver, and go AJ Brown. Stud last year. I feel like that chemistry is still gonna hang tight there. I know there's other big wide receivers there as well, like Devontae Smith or a solid guy in Philly, but I think AJ Brown's gonna get a lot of the targets.
All right. What pick number are we on already?
12.
Last pick, 12.
Last
Yeah,
one.
last one.
So what am I gonna go? Do I go Jahmyr Gibbs or do I go Puka? Jahmyr Gibbs, just because
Yeah.
running backs are limited. And so yeah, I would go Jahmyr Gibbs over Puka in this case. I heard he's to get more work done. Only thing that's gonna worry is he's coming back from a hamstring issue, but I think he'll get over that rather quick. So yeah, I'll take Jameer.
I mean, either way, they're both coming off of injury, right? Puka too, I think
Mhm.
shoulder, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think it was a shoulder injury. So, but I feel like Gibbs is very solid, right? Because yeah, I would go Gibbs too.
I there's one thing here that I just want to kind of pose a question with you guys. As far as the first round goes, I've seen a lot of back and forths. Some folks say wide receiver heavy, as Fidel just mentioned. Some folks are saying, that there's not a whole lot of depth at running back all the time. So it's always good to grab a few in the first round or first, second. Are you guys wide receiver focused first round, or are you guys more running back focused first round?
Uh, Depends on where I fall in the draft order. 100% depends on that.
Hmm.
Because if I have the
I'm with
chance in the top like five to get either like a CD or a Chase, I'm going there for sure. But if I'm below that, I'm probably gonna be more inclined to take running back. Mhm.
Hmm.
I'm with Fidel too. It also depends on how everyone's drafting too, right?
Mhm.
If everyone's
Mhm.
going running back, running back, running back, running back, might as well just take receiver and get a solid wide receiver since most of the top running backs are gone at that point,
Hmm.
or vice versa.
Yeah, I think it's always going to depend on how the group drafts. For me, I'm always running back heavy the first few rounds. I want to get my solid two running backs that I could trust in. I don't like doing the hero wide receiver model just because, you know, once you get to like the third, fourth round, the running backs aren't consistent. Like James Cook, like, yeah, he's supposed to have a lot of work, but he doesn't get touchdowns. Josh Allen vultures all those touchdowns. So it's like, do I really want to is that going to be my running back, you know? And so I always try to load up, but it all just does, like you guys mentioned, depend on where I'm drafting and what everybody else is doing. For everybody else is picking up running backs, I may try to pick up wide receivers and have to play the hero wide receiver game.
Hey, I did that last year with the hero wide receiver and got lucky enough to I was able to pick up Swift and Mostert late,
Mm-hmm.
probably like after the ninth round each. So
Yeah. Because I
mhm,
think with that model, you really have to try
mhm,
to find those gem of running backs that are gonna either overtake the starter or the starter's just gonna get, you know, injured.
mhm.
You know, hate to say it, but you know, it may happen. You know, one of these running backs, the top picks, are gonna get hurt, and that's when the backup. So it's a lot. It's about handcuffing a lot too.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
looking at those running backs that aren't the strongest and that may get taken over by either these rookies, you know, these up and coming running backs. So yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
I actually did my first draft this past weekend, yesterday. Um, it was very interesting, right? Because I went running back heavy, and you know, ended up drafting three rookie wide receivers. So Marvin Harrison Jr., that one guy from the Colts, already forgot his name, and McConkey uh, over in San Diego, or not San Diego, LA Chargers.
Hmm.
But so the fingers crossed, right, that they all have seasons like Puka. But
It's the hope. A lot of luck sometimes.
yeah, man. I
Hmm.
also got lucky to get the both the Cardinals running backs, the Benson guy and Connor. And I know Fidel and I were talking and we're saying that we think Benson's going to take over the backfield there sooner or later. So we'll see how that goes. But
For
yeah, and
sure.
this episode we're trying to do something different, right? We're this week we're going to release two episodes this week, and just want to let you guys know that this is like the first episode, right? We want to stick to one subject and move forward from there. I'm not sure if you guys want to add anything to that or
Hmm.
yeah, no.
Solid
So
round.
yeah, yeah. So like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you guys like, what you guys didn't like. We're definitely trying new thing. Trying to keep everything kind of together as far as subjects and topic matters, and make these episodes more solid for you guys. You hear what you guys are saying. You want to thrive off of that, and if you guys don't like this, let us know. If you guys want the full on hour, let us know. We'll be more than happy to do it for you. Again, just comment, like, subscribe, share with your buddies, with your girlfriends, whoever it is that you listen to, and get us out there. Someone tag Taylor Swift for us. Yeah, let us go to the Chiefs Kingdom over there, maybe watch a game in their suite. That's a dream, right? This is a stretch, but look, Tim's already thinking about it. He's already dreaming about being in that suite.
That'd be great. Free food? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep, I'm down.
But yeah, no, yeah, take
Awesome.
go ahead and end the
Yeah.
show there. You guys had an amazing day.
So yeah.